All right, all right, all right, all right. So, welcome back to another episode of Shoot the Hoot RAW. I'm Chuck Taylor, co-founder and chief encourager, and the guy who refuses to let cybersecurity be boring. Today, we're diving into something we all do. We tell ourselves little cybersecurity bedtime stories. Oh, our people are smart. Oh, we already did training. Oh, we're too small. Cute, very cute. But today, ripping those lies out of the nest and holding them up to the light. Yeah, see right through those things. Because cybersecurity doesn't fail from a lack of tools. It fails from false confidence. And we're not here for comfort. No, 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 no. We're here for clarity, confidence, and maybe just a tiny bit of uncomfortable truth. So get ready. Grab your coffee, tighten the seatbelt, and let's expose the three biggest myths standing between your team and real security. Let's hoot up. All right, crew, buckle up. Here's where we're flying today. First up, our 5-minute rant. Three lies we tell ourselves about cybersecurity. We're calling out the greatest hits of cyber self-deception. One, our people would never fall for that. We already did our training. We're too small to be noticed. Spoiler alert, hackers love those sentences. We're going to laugh at them and then dismantle them. Next, the CyberHoot Nerd Update. Code, coffee, and cool new features. The dev team's been fueled by caffeine and curiosity. We'll cover what's improved, what's faster, what's cleaner, and what's going to make your life easier. Because security should get smarter every week. Then, you guessed it, open mic Q&A, myth-busting mailbag. Let's talk about it. You got objections? You got pushback? Yeah, but moments? Bring them. This is part of where we turn doubt into clarity and confusion into confidence. And maybe ruffle a feather or two. Sorry ahead of time. And finally, the Hoot-Worthy Horror Story. Toyota Boshuku. Probably didn't pronounce it right. My son could probably tell me. He knows a little bit of Japanese. Anyways, it was a 37 million vendor change email. One email, one routine update, $37 million. We'll break down what happened and what every business can learn from it. So that's the plan. Myth busting, feature flexing, question answering, and one very expensive lesson. Let's get into lie number one. Let's start with the classic lie. Our people would never fall for that. Oh, really? Because Google and Facebook wired over 100 million to a fake vendor who impersonated a real supplier. And unless your accounting department is more sophisticated than Silicon Valley, we might want to stay humble. Here's the truth. Smart people click. Busy people click. High performers click. Why? Because attackers don't target stupidity. No, they target distraction. They strike at 4:57 p.m. on a Friday. They strike during payroll week. They strike while you're juggling Slack, Teams, email, or a calendar reminder that says urgent. Phishing works because it hijacks emotion. It pushes urgency. Do this now. It pushes authority. The CEO needs this immediately. It pushes fear. Your account's locked. Oh no. And curiosity. You won't believe this one, right? And that emotion beats intelligence in the moment. You don't suddenly become less smart. You know what? You just become human. So the solution isn't let's hire geniuses. The solution is let's build habits. Habits that say pause, hover, verify, report. Because cybersecurity isn't an IQ test. It's a reflex. Reflexes are trained, not assumed. Now, this one makes me laugh every time. I should laugh. We did our training in March. Oh, good. And how's that March knowledge holding up in November? Still fresh? Still glowing? Still laminated in your brain? Because science says probably not. Learning retention studies have shown, now check this out. Learning retention studies have shown that without reinforcement, people can forget up to 70% of new information within 24 hours. 24 hours, 70%, gone. That means by tomorrow, most of that annual training you sent out is already on life support. Annual cybersecurity training is like going to the gym once a year and expecting abs, or brushing your teeth and hoping your breath is still fresh. You have fresh breath. And the last one here, watching one cooking show and calling yourself Chef Ramsay. That's not how habits work. Cybersecurity isn't a seminar. It's muscle memory. You don't want your team thinking, wait, was that slide about hovering? Or was that the one about password managers? I don't remember. You want them thinking automatically. Pause, hover, verify, report. That only happens with repetition, short, frequent, reinforced. Because attackers, they don't check your compliance calendar and say, oh, wow, they trained in March. Let's circle back to them next year. They're hitting your inboxes every day. If the threats are coming at you monthly, your training should be too. Not overwhelming, not annoying, just consistent enough to keep the reflex sharp. Because memory fades, but habits stick. And here it is, the most dangerous lie of them all. We're too small to be targeted. Oh, my friend, no. No, no, no. Hackers are not in a swivel chair going, let's ignore the $4 million company and wait for Apple to slip. No, they automate, they spray, they scan the entire internet. It's not personal, it's mathematical. If you have email, money, credentials, or cybersecurity insurance, guess what? You're targetable. In fact, smaller and mid-sized businesses are often more attractive. Why? Why, you asked? Because attackers assume there's fewer security controls. There's less monitoring. There's slower response. The we're too small mindset. And ransomware does not check your revenue before encrypting your files. Trust me. It doesn't say, oh, wow, only 42 employees? Never mind. The real question isn't, are we big enough to be targeted? It's, are we prepared enough when we are? Because automation has made everyone visible. And visibility without preparation, that's expensive. So 3 lies down, 0 excuses left. Now let's flip over to the good stuff. What's new, improved, and slightly nerdier in CyberHoot land. It's time for our CyberHoot nerd update. All right, time to put the lab coat and the head into the nest. So I'll put on my lab coat and put my head in the nest. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We've been busy. Like coffee at 10:30 p.m. and still typing busy. Let's start with the Hoot-Fish challenge upgrades because we didn't just add metrics, we added metrics with muscle. We rolled out new API endpoints to challenge metrics and wired them directly into the CyberHoot SDK. Translation, if you love data, dashboards, and impressing people in meetings with your charts, you're going to have fun with this one. We also redesigned the Hoot-Fish challenge results page inside of Autopilot with expanded metrics. More insight, more visibility, and more, oh, wow, look at that engagement spike. Fun. And yes, those metrics now show up in both the public and internal results pages. So whether you're running a conference challenge or internal culture battle, you get the full scoreboard experience no matter what. And of course, we updated the API documentation because nothing says developer love like accurate documentation. Now, let's talk about custom fish and attack fish improvements. We fixed an issue where attack fish results created custom hoots, created through the custom hoots weren't playing very nicely. So they're friends again now, so all is good. We improved custom fish reliability. So when you hit save, it actually saves. Revolutionary concept, I know, awesome. And we enhanced the email body editor, so it's much clearer when you're in HTML mode. So no more of those, wait, why did my formatting just explode like crazy moments, right? Now, on the security and authentication side, we improved Autopilot login failback handling, meaning smoother access, fewer weird edge cases. And we fixed the dark web domain auto formatting as well, because formatting matters, even in the underbelly of the internet. Now, for user and admin experience upgrades, the quiet heroes, you can now restore sync users as local users, including mass actions. Translation, more flexibility, less clicking. Fewer, well, that's annoying moments, right? Sorry about those. We also added endpoints for creating and deleting default customer reports. So MSPs, automation fans, and API lovers, that one's for you. And finally, system and process improvements. Behind the scenes cleanups, script refinement, stability boost. Nothing flashy, but the kind of work that keeps everything running smooth while you're out there building culture and stopping clicks. And now, not on the list, I literally just added this 2 minutes before today's call. It was at the very last 2 minutes, sorry. We have a big architecture and performance improvement for processing web pages and requests. This one should have a huge ripple effect, but in a really, really good way. So really, I'm really anxious to see this thing go out tonight and go across all of our environments and look at the speed improvements and the performance improvements. Very excited. So that's the nest this week. More visibility, more reliability, more control. And yes, we're just getting warmed up. So, all right, that's what we've been building behind the scenes. Now let's open it up. If something sparked a question, confused you, or made you think, wait, can it also do this? This is your moment. But first, as always, boom, be the first to email CyberLies10 to shootthehoot at cyberhoot.com and get 10% off your next invoice. Type it in, click send, and get that 10. If you're not watching live, no worries. Email us anyway. I want to hear from you. Commercial ended. Really sounded like a commercial, didn't it? Next. All right. Our Q&A. We got some questions for me. Let's see. Alrighty. This is a part of the show where we open the floor. Open the floor. It's open. You bring the questions. I bring the mildly rehearsed answers. Okay. And if nobody asks anything, I magically happen to have a few of the most common ones ready to go. It's kind of like cybersecurity clairvoyance. I know what you're going to ask before you ask it. We just busted these 3 dangerous lies of our people would never fall for that. We already did training. We're too small. Busted, like boom, busted, right? So let's talk about the real concerns behind those statements, because they're usually rooted in budget pressure, time pressure, or just plain fatigue. No shames, no gotchas, just real talk. So let's dive in. Questions? Let's see. All right, first question. How often should we be really be training? So the short answer to that is more than once a year. Duh. Long answer, think rhythm, not marathon, all right? Instead of dumping like 60 minutes of training on someone in March and calling it good, check, don't do that. Try 10 to 12 minutes total twice a month. A short video at the start of the month, a 1 hoot simulation mid-month. That's 10 to 12 minutes of training a month. It's low lift, it's high impact, and it builds memory through repetition. Cybersecurity isn't a keynote speech, it's muscle memory. Build it, do the reps. All right, next question. Want more frequent testing to annoy employees? Yeah, but only if it feels like a trap, right? If your program is like, surprise, you failed, or why did you click, or report to HR in trouble, they're calling you, right? Yeah, people are gonna hate that. But if it's trained first, reinforced consistently, and frame those tests as learning checkpoints, then it feels collaborative. IT plus employees versus the attackers, not IT versus employees. That shift changes everything. Right. Other questions? One more. Okay. We're a smaller company. Do we really need all this? I know. Listen, I'm with you, SMBs. You know, too much is too much sometimes. But here's the honest truth. Attackers automate. They don't care if you have 20 employees or 20,000. If you've got email, credentials, money, or insurance, you're in the game. The smaller orders are often those easier targets because the fences are thinner. The better question isn't, are we too small? It's, are we prepared? Right. Any more questions? Nope. All right. That's all for the questions. Let's keep it moving. So we've talked about the lies. Now let's look at what happens when a company believes them. Because this next story proves something uncomfortable. You don't have to be careless. You just have to be human. All right. In 2019, 7 years ago already, gracious, the Toyota Boshuku Corporation, a major Toyota group supplier, received what looked like a routine business email. It appeared to come from a trusted business partner, requested a change in bank information for an upcoming payment. Now pause. If your finance or accounts payable, then this is just a regular Tuesday. Vendors update accounts all the time. Wire instructions change. People move banks. So the email looked legitimate. The relationship was real. The payment timing matched expectations. So guess what? They processed it. They wired the money. 37 million gone. It wasn't ransomware. It wasn't some elite hacker breaking through firewalls. It was business email compromise. A spoofed message, a trusted context, a believable request. And guess what? Toyota, Bodoshuku, or whatever name, they've got smart professionals. They have a large organization. They have established processes, but they still clicked. They still wired. The loss was publicly disclosed. The company acknowledged the fraudulent transfer. This had worked because attackers don't need your system credentials. They just need your trust. So why does this story really matter? Why? Because it kills 2 lies at once. One, our people would never fall for that. Guess what? They did. 2, we're too sophisticated. No, you're not. Toyota is not small. Toyota is not unsophisticated. Toyota employs very smart people. So what happened? Context plus urgency plus familiarity. Attackers weaponize normal business operations. Pretty smart, actually. And that's why training once a year isn't enough. Policies that are sitting in a PDF aren't enough. Assumptions are definitely not enough. Habit-based awareness is what saves money because the difference between process this wire and, whoa, call to verify that wire is about 90 seconds. But it's 37 million worth of habit. Ouch. So, and that's the thing. It wasn't a reckless employee. No, it wasn't a reckless employee. It wasn't an untrained intern. It was a normal business moment, handled the normal way. The only difference between routine and ruin is whether your people are trained to pause. So let's bring this home and talk about what we can do differently. Today we busted 3 dangerous lies. 1, our people can never fall for that. 2, we already did training this year. And 3, we're too small to be targeted. And here's the truth. Smart people click. Memory fades. Automation makes everyone a target. But here's the better truth. Habits beat hope. Repetition beats regret. And training beats termination. This isn't about fear. It's not about gotcha. It's not about embarrassing someone in accounting. It's about building a culture where people pause, people verify, people think before they click. As my wife says, use your brain. So, because cybersecurity isn't an event, it's not a once-a-year chatbots. It's a rhythm, small, frequent, reinforced. And when you build that kind of rhythm, you don't just pass audits, you prevent headlines. So here's your challenge this week. Identify one lie your organization might still believe. Replace it with one habit that actually protects you. And if you're ready to go deeper, let's talk about how CyberHoot helps you turn awareness into muscle memory. So if this episode helps you think differently, do me a favor, like it. Share with someone who still thinks March training counts for the whole year. And send it to that one friend who says, we are too small, or we're not sophisticated, or we're sophisticated. We'll be back next week with another punchy, practical, zero fluff episode. Until then, laugh, learn, and hoot up. Hoot up!